In a world where only the strong survive. I saw Jay at the club. I told her, you talk all that shit on Facebook, won't say it in my face, though. Man, fuck that bitch. They go your friend.
Bro, what the fuck is you doing?
What you mean what I'm doing?
What the fuck are you doing?
Nigga, I'm lost.
Man, don't play dumb. I was going through my girl's phone. I see she got a missed call from you.
Okay, and?
You don't call my fucking girl, bro.
Are you tripping, man? I was just calling her ass about the schedule.
Hey, hold this cane, boy. I don't give a shit what the fuck it was about. Whether it's my ex, my new flex, or my next. You don't call what's mine, nigga.
Yeah, I call whoever the fuck I want to call. You ain't nobody daddy, nigga. Tell him, baby. Whether you're dead or alive, only power decides. The first rule of real American heroes is pay your woman's bills. The second rule of real American heroes is keep your mouth shut and pay your woman's bills. Hey, I got a question. The third rule of real American heroes: make sure all your woman's needs are met. Keep your fucking mouth shut and pay your woman's bills. Any question? Yes, when is it alright for me to go through my woman's phone? Without express written consent, keep your nasty dick beaters off your woman's phone. A world where only stand-up niggas thrive. I'm out here moving and grooving, playboy. I got a big house, I drive nice cars, I got a main, 2 sides, and a drink. G.I.Q.
Hey, yo, hey, niggas get shot every day, B. You tough, right?
I'm out, Rico. You understand what I'm saying? Look at me. I've been shot in the head, baby. My body different. I'm breathing different. You understand what I'm saying? The doctor said I wasn't gonna walk the same. You understand what I'm saying? I'm out.
Yo, hey, man, pull your skirt down, B.
Yo, hey, man, it's like this, man. We down to our last bricks, man. Shit's drying up out there. You hear me? Niggas ain't eating on the streets, man. Everybody getting antsy out there, baby.
I know what floats A's boat.
Different emotions.
What?
I'm on 20 of my own time.
Right here.
I know all about your career, right?
What?
Don't need this lousy.
What?
Remember this nigga? You clean now. What's poppin', Kermit? I laid the murder game down, let niggas know we not fucking around, man.
My bad, sorry. Just my bad. Sorry, lo siento. All right. Where we at? Where are we at? Okay. Happy, what is this? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Okay, real quick. Can I be ratchet for like 5 minutes? I need to be ratchet for 5 minutes. You know what? Still not a good look though, bruh. Like, it's the NBA. The NBA is still a family affiliated corporation. That's like, could you imagine Disney doing something like that, and then black folk were like, well, the NBA supports gambling. Everybody supports gambling. Everybody doesn't support stripper culture. Stripper culture is not the same as gambling, and black folk are acting a fool over this NBA. We'll get to that, but I need to be ratchet for 5 minutes, if you don't mind. I need to be ratchet for 5 minutes. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. But when I say black people make everything cool, and I mean everything, this is the funniest stuff I've seen all day today. And I've been having this song on repeat. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Hold up. Where is it at? I'm gonna find it. Oh, let me go to my IG. I'm sorry, y'all just have to forgive me. We gotta be ratchet for 5 minutes. Funniest thing, like, we create the way we make everything look cool. No matter how dumb, no matter how stupid, we make everything, and I mean everything, cool. Here we go. Man, listen, I've been playing this record all day, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm here for this. Let's go. Listen. Oh, fucking yeah. He wanna hang with a bad bitch. He wanna shout out to Sexy Red. Yeah. Shit, come on. I'm sorry. Yo, I've been playing this shit all day. This is my joint. We make anything and everything look cool. Only we can do that. Sorry, not Jamaicans, not Haitians, not black Brits. We are the sauce. You understand? We are the sauce. Listen, I've been playing the hell out that record. I've been playing the hell out that record all day today. So that's my little 5 minutes of wretchedness. That's my shit right there. That's my shit. Okay. That was fun. All right, now where are we? Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Let me just say this real quick. When I'm right, I'm right. Is anybody watching Star tonight? Has anybody tuned into Star Report? I'm asking for a reason. Because when I'm right, I'm right. I guess my viewpoint doesn't sound so crazy after all in regards to this Ivana Ortiz, Rihanna situation, right? When a chick like Sexy Red. So nobody's watching Star tonight. Nobody's watching Star Report. Okay. Star Report has a okay. What did he say in regards to the Rihanna Ivana situation? What did he say? What did he say? What did he say he believes is taking place? What did he say that he believes is taking place between these two women? Just humor me. Okay? Humor me for 5 minutes. Tell me what he said he believes is taking place with this woman. Oh, that's right. Yeah. He's asking, why does everyone think she's crazy? He's asking, well, doesn't Rihanna divulge in this stuff? Yeah. Okay. So I don't sound crazy now, do I? 24 hours later. Huh, okay. Imagine that. Okay. I just wanted to toot my own horn. I don't need nobody to do it for me. I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So, did you catch it? Oh, okay. All right, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, so before we get into part 3 of Rihanna, let's go to the NBA versus Magic City debacle, kerfluffle. Let's start with Curtis Schoon versus Killer Mike, because that's part of why we're here. So let me go in there. Okay, NBA. Now, the NBA thought it was a good idea to have a Magic City event. Now, of course, most stupid black people in inner city metro Atlanta thought it was a great idea. Everybody else that doesn't live in Atlanta, outside of it, like strippers. Why is the NBA affiliating with strippers? See, this is what happens when you live in a bubble. And this just goes to show a lot of ATLians' mindset. They don't understand that their culture is problematic. The archetype of their women is problematic. Yes? Okay. So let's do this. It was called, it was a Magic City theme night. Let's see what everybody's saying about it. Let's go here. Let's go to Stephen A. Smith. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Unfiltered. I'm not sold. I'm sorry. Unapologetic. I'm not trying to talk about him. Unlike anyone else. But don't make me. This is the...
And once again, no diss to nobody in Atlanta. But if you want to, but the majority of these people that were upset that the NBA pulled the plug, they live in Atlanta. They live in Atlanta. Let's go.
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Welcome. Weekday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard. 6. That's 888 Mad Dog 6. 888-622. Shea Butter, Shea Gilgis, Alexander. Line. This year, we'll talk about that NFL free agency. Who's the winner on day 1 of NFL free agency? Some would say the Las Vegas Raiders. I'll explain that as the show goes forward, while other people are looking at the Baltimore Ravens squad, the Dallas Cowboys, and others. There's a lot to get into as it pertains to that, and we will not hesitate to do it
surprised?
right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. But the first order of business for me, on a more serious matter, I'm not joking about it. It's that Magic City event in the ATL. The Atlanta Hawks was planning a week from yesterday, March 16th, to have a promotional event at a Hawks game against the Magic, and it was going to be a night dedicated to Magic City, the famed strip club in the ATL, and that has been canceled. The NBA has stepped in, attaching a level of seriousness that it deserved and required to this equation, and Commissioner Adam Silver issued this statement, was it yesterday or earlier this morning? He said, when we became aware of the Atlanta Hawks scheduled promotion, we reached out to the Hawks leadership to better understand their plans and rationale. While we appreciate the team's perspective and their desire to move forward, we've heard significant concerns from a broad array of league stakeholders, including fans, partners, and employees. I believe canceling this promotion is the right decision for the broader NBA community, end quote. This was a statement from Atlanta Hawks ownership in the aftermath of Adam Silver's statement. The Atlanta Hawks said, quote, while we are very disappointed in the NBA's decision to cancel our Magic City night promotion, we fully respect this decision. As a franchise, we remain committed to celebrating the best of Atlanta with authenticity in ways that continue to unite and bring us all together, end quote. Needless to say, there's been a brouhaha going on, people going off about it, people who were in support of the event saying, what about the NBA being hypocritical here? You know, the relationship with sports gaming and gambling. What about that? Is that good? Is that...
Once again, you cannot compare the culture of gambling versus the culture of stripping. I get it. Gambling had its roots, the mob and numbers, and that was how long ago? Gambling now is a respected profession. You can go to Vegas. You can become a professional gambler. There's gambling leagues. Can you be a professional stripper? Is there a professional stripper league? Is there a world stripper championships? No, but there's a world poker, a world gambling championships of all types. Is there a Magic City ad running on these YouTube channels? Yes or no? No, but there's gambling ads running on these YouTube channels. Okay? Please, black people, no. 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 This is dumb. This is a stupid argument.
Good for the culture of the NBA, et cetera, while others have stood firm alongside the National Basketball Association and saying it was the right decision to make. It was the only...
I'm sorry. I can't understand why they're upset. I can't. I can't. There's no way I can't see how they're upset for what. What are they upset about exactly? I'm not understanding. What I don't even want to see it their way. Honestly, this is insane.
Only decision that could be made. Luke Cornett, if I remember correctly, he spoke out against it initially, and his former teammate with the Boston Celtics, because he's now with the Golden State, he's now with San Antonio Spurs. Al Horford is now with the Golden State Warriors. He basically gave a thumbs up to Luke Cornett's position and said, way to go, way to go, way to go, because Luke Cornett really sparked this level of resistance, at least in the eyes of many who were, just monitoring this whole situation with Magic City Strip Club and the Atlanta Hawks and all of this other stuff, because Luke Cornett obviously was unapologetic, very forceful, but very respectful, and basically pointing out that this is not something that the NBA needed to associate itself with. Here's my position. Now, I know I was joking around.
So let's go back to what he said. This is what the white man said. I would like to respectfully ask that the Atlanta Hawks cancel this promotional night with Magic City. The NBA should desire to protect and esteem women, many of whom work diligently every day to make this the best basketball league in the world. We should promote an atmosphere that is protective and respectful of the daughters, wives, sisters, mothers, and partners that we know and love. Allowing this to go forward without protest would reflect poorly on us as an NBA community, specifically in being complicit in the potential objectification and mistreatment of women in our society. Regardless of how a woman finds her way into the adult entertainment industry, listen to what he said, regardless of how she finds herself in there, many in this space experience abuse, harassment, and violence to which they should never be subjected. Let's go.
Here's my position. Now, I know I was joking around, and I was having a lot of fun with this subject. I talked about being appalled and upset and disgusted because I wasn't going to be there that night, and I was just having fun with it in the whole bit. Wasn't a crime, but attaching a little bit more seriousness to the equation, particularly in the aftermath of Luke Cornett's statement. I think it's important to point out that I didn't have a problem with his statement, and I agree with the NBA's decision. Let's understand something here, and it could be a call to action from the standpoint of let me know what you think. You think the NBA made the right decision? Let me know. Right here, AAA Mad Dog 66888-623-3646. Do you agree with the NBA's decision, or do you oppose it? I will tell you I agree with their decision. I agree with their decision because I'm about business. I'm a capitalist, and I'm proud of it, and I ain't apologizing for it to a damn soul. Now, I remember reading some notes a little over a week ago or so where we were talking about Magic City and talking about the ATL and black culture and stuff like that. People might be put off by it, but somebody brought this to my attention. This wasn't me. This was them. And they said, that's how we want to define black culture in Atlanta now? By associating black culture with a strip club? Now, that sounds a bit dismissive. When we look at the NBA economy, the NBA generated 12.
Well, what do you think when you think of Atlanta? What do you think? What's the first three thoughts that come to your mind when you think Atlanta? It's not the Hawks. You know what I think when I think Atlanta? I think strippers. I think, I think strippers. I think the shootout, BMF versus Puffy. And I think Outkast. But strippers is in there. Ask yourself, when you hear the word Atlanta, what's the first three things that comes to mind? And I guarantee strippers is at one of them. Strippers is one of them, for sure. But let's continue.
$12.5 billion in revenue. Okay? We've got other places that generate, Hollywood, for example, about $8.5 billion in revenue. Do y'all know that the strip club industry generated over $7 billion in revenue last year? $7 billion. $7 billion. So it's a moneymaker. But the legitimate question is, when you talk about culture, is that what you want associated with you in a way that it's defining black culture, particularly in Atlanta? When you think about Atlanta, you think about the ATL, you think about the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. No, you don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't. If you're my age, you don't think MLK Atlanta. No, there's no. I'm looking at y'all answers right now. Some of you guys are saying rainbows, scams, hip hop, music, strippers. Ain't nobody said anything about no MLK. No one thinks Martin Luther King when you think Atlanta. There's no way. Let's continue.
You think about former mayor and civil rights activist Andrew Young.
No.
You think about a plethora of individuals associated with black history uplifting the community. And some would say, are you sure that you want a strip club to be defined as black culture? when there's been plenty of whites, Hispanics, and everybody else that have frequented Magic City? I thought that was a legitimate question. And I think that when you hear the commissioner via a statement talk about fans, talk about employees, talk about business partners, I think that last part is incredibly important. Because you see sports gaming and the Supreme Court's ruling in 2018 allowing the states to ingratiate itself with sports gaming and gambling. That changed the landscape. Because before then, NFL wasn't interested in it. Major League Baseball wasn't interested in it. The NBA wasn't interested in being associated with it. We had Governor Christie, former governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie, come on this show to talk about how he pushed, for sports gaming and sports gambling to be legalized in the state of New Jersey, and how the league should embrace it, and how former Commissioner David Stern of the NBA, along with Commissioner Roger Goodell of the NFL, and others said there was no way in hell that was going to ever happen. And they were strong resistors to what he was proposing. And he told them it was inevitable. Eventually it was going to happen. Get on the bus now. And they were reluctant to do so. And sure enough, by 2018, it did become legalized. And now we're talking about states generating billions of dollars in revenue each and every single year because of sports gambling and sports gaming. So even though we might look at it and we might say...
Once again, sports gambling is going corporate. Stripping will never go corporate. Stripping will never go corporate. You know what comes along with stripping? Prostitution. You know what comes with prostitution? Drugs. You know what comes with drugs? Violence. Okay? Stripping will never go corporate. Never. It's going to remain underground. It's going to still remain taboo, risque, one of those, it'll never be respected. Never. Who's a respectable former stripper that's now in Hollywood that's a B-list actress? you understand? That's never going to happen. Let's go.
Excuse me, this isn't good for kids. This isn't good for adults because there's gambling addicts everywhere. Think about the hostility aimed at the professional athletes and professional sports teams and stuff like that. And even on a collegiate level because of sports gaming and how it's ingratiated itself into the fabric of America and American sports. And it's added additional pressure to the athletes, the coaches, and the organizations moving forward, doing their job every single day. Is that good? They've asked that question. My point is, it all came about because of the Supreme Court. And once the Supreme Court gave the okay and the floodgates opened, that showed an exponential monetary benefit to the vast majority of folks involved.
Who's cutting these checks for these black podcasters, Wallow and Gilly? Who's cutting their checks? Barstool Sports. Gambling site. Give me the name of the stripper company that's cutting checks and running ads on YouTube channels. Don't worry, I'll wait. Let's continue.
It was predictable that sports gaming and sports gambling would become what it is. One could easily argue that doesn't say the same thing when it comes to strip clubs.
Okay, here we go. Come on.
Although it's frequented across the world. No matter where you go, what city, what state, what nation, there's a strip club. The flip side.
Once again, people that are professional gamblers and nobody thumbs their nose at them. Professional gamblers is a respectable job. If a woman comes to tell you, I'm a professional stripper, oh, are you now? Okay, they're not the same. They will never, ever be the same. Let's continue.
To it is that having a marketing and a promotional event around it is entirely different than sports gaming ingratiating itself into the world of sports. Gambling and gaming ingratiating itself into the world of sports. There's two different things. Spurs center Luke Cornett wrote last week, before all of this went down, I would like to respectfully ask that the Atlanta Hawks cancel this promotional night with Magic City. The NBA should desire to protect and esteem women, many of whom work diligently every day to make this the best basketball league in the world. We should promote an atmosphere that is protective and respectful of the daughters, wives, sisters, mothers, and partners that we know and love. Allowing this night to go forward without protest would reflect poorly on us as an NBA community, specifically in being complicit in the potential objectification and mistreatment of women in our society. Regardless of how a woman finds her way into the adult entertainment industry, many in this space experience abuse, harassment, and violence.
Yeah, do you see OnlyFans ads running on people's... No? Okay, never mind. Let's continue. Do you see the Pornhub ads running? No, okay. What's the other site? OnlyFans, Pornhub, Fansly. FanView, RedTube. What's the other site? Sex Panther. Yes, no? Okay. Let's continue.
To which they should never be subjected. In this day and age, in this culture, as our levels of sensitivity have heightened, and our willingness and fervor to protect women is heightened as well, it makes sense. Because if we're being honest about it, when you talk about strip clubs, it is gender specific. There's male strippers and all that stuff, but that ain't what we talk about here.
Nope.
Talk about the females. With gaming and gambling, you ain't talking about any gender. Just talking about people. In other words, you can't really compare the two no matter how hard people would try.
Yeah, there it is. Thank you for saying
So
that.
at the end of the day, you got to look at the...
Okay, let's see who else. Let's see who else. Let's go Rob Parker. Let's see what Rob Parker has to say.
Rob G, Alex, I can only imagine how Rob would feel if he would bought his ticket to this game.
Because remember, I can't go because of jury duty.
Yeah.
I was going to go to Atlanta, and I got jury duty on Monday. I don't know if they're going to select me or not, but I'm going to tell you, my heart was broken when I heard the news today that Magic City Monday was officially canceled by that weasel NBA commissioner, Adam Silver. The killjoy, the guy who doesn't care about the Atlanta community and the institutions that make that city what it is.
Y'all in this
My
institution
heart
work.
bleeds to all the people who bought hoodies, who bought tickets, who
Look
were
who these
looking to
comments.
have Lou Williams lemon pepper wings,
Honey barbecue, yeah.
honey
Lemon
barbecue,
barbecue,
and
yeah.
all that, who were ready for this. They didn't have people who were like, I'm not buying tickets to that. I'm not taking part of to this chicanery and deviltry or whatever you want to call it. Instead, read the room, Adam Silver. The only people who didn't care about it or didn't want it, weren't it from Atlanta. They always sticking their nose in Atlanta business. This ain't no NBA event.
Says the person.
Once again, Atlanta is part of a conglomerate. The Atlanta Hawks are part of a conglomerate. And if the other owners say that's not a good look, guess what? It's not going to happen. This is not rocket science, man. It's really ABC's 1, 2, 3s, y'all.
And who's in LA?
So I'm hoping Rob is trolling. I hope he's not serious right now. I hope he's trolling.
This is the person. This is the Atlanta. This was an Atlanta event. Sometimes you do special things in special cities for people because you know how it resonates with people.
That's fine. Just keep the corporates out of it. If you're going to use the NBA logo on that shit, guess what? It's going to get scrutinized. So this is a bad take from Rob. Rob knows better. Come on. Rob knows better.
How dare you
He's
take this
trolling.
away from the people of Atlanta? I'm sick to my stomach.
He's got to be trolling.
If I could talk to Adam Silver right now.
I have a feeling what you
Okay,
were saying.
I can't. Rob's he's got to be trolling. No one should be upset over this shit. So now, you know who else was upset over this? Killer Mike. Pseudo activist. You know, his family, all of his family's from law enforcement. I've had my issues with Killer Mike, and out of respect for my people that work with, you know, Big Boy, and I try to be chill, but I don't take Killer Mike serious. So let's go here. So he was upset. Killer Mike, he says, for real. Oh, no. This is sad, man. So Killer Mike says, Magic City has been a black-owned business for over 30 years in my community. That community has given entertainers that happen to be dancers a place to entertain. Those women have went on to become business owners, moms, wives, and more. This is not a good look. So Curtis Schoon claps at him, says he supports black men in distress like Young Thug, Byron Allen, men who create jobs in the community. Okay. All right. So here we go. Ah, damn it. I missed it. Holy cow. Oh, I see any card. Okay, wait. Let me find it. Hold up. Wait. Let me find it. Killer Mike. Okay. So him and Schoon go at it. Hold on, I'm gonna find it, y'all. Hold on, I'll find it. Okay. Let's go here. If the Atlanta Hawks were as good at playing basketball as they were at promos, then they'd have won several championships by now. Only way they can sell some gear is if they put Magic City on it, because nobody knows any of their current players. This person says, I thought it was a genius idea. A random Monday, the week of the NCAA tourney begins, all of a sudden becomes the hottest ticket of the season, maybe only trailing marquee teams like Lakers and Knicks. Okay. Okay. This is what, okay, here we go. Whatever it takes to fill those seats. With that said, this was a marketing move that was incredible. This is Killer Mike. A gentleman's club owned by a black family in a black city was poised to do what Playboy had not yet done. He's put down. I say brave on the almost. JJ's making the city pun know him, and I pray one day we bring Ant-Man home. Oh my God, this nigga. Okay. I don't see how people take Killer Mike serious. Big Sheneg, he ain't answer me. What high school, ho? Keep your... This is what I'm talking. See, Mike talk all that crap. Be the main one crying in front of white folk. Okay. So they're going back and forth between what high school. Okay. High school, Bubba. You know what I'm asking too. What Atlanta public school did you attend? High school, Bubba. You know. Okay. Well, I'm asking too. What Atlanta did you attend? Okay. Answer the question as to why you think a strip club known for prostitution, rampant drug use, and so many shootings, it's tough to keep track, and the full exploitation of women is part of the culture. Went to and graduated from EAHS in 86 and still don't get the idea of a strip joint with good wings being a staple of the so-called ATL culture. Okay. Okay. Don't worry, I'm gonna find. Okay. I'm gonna find it, y'all. Okay, Northside Hospital. Can you explain what about the strip club makes it a part of Atlanta culture? And then he says, I can, I will too. What high school again? So that's where we're at right now. Okay, I'm happy you said this. I'm a third generation Atlantan. Please tell me where a strip club fits into Atlanta culture. What about the strip club makes it a part of the Atlanta culture? I want to see something. Isaac Hayes III said the NBA doesn't understand Atlanta culture, and most people not from here don't either. Wow, it's always your own people. So Isaac Hayes III is for this. Okay, you can have your Magic City night, just not using corporate monies, corporate logos. Okay, sorry. This person says it's no different than any other place that is highly touted in the city. You go to LA, you go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, you go to Philly, you go to Pat's or Geno's. The fact that Magic City is a strip club is what throws you off. Nigga, it's a strip club. You don't see these conversations in white folk. You don't see these conversations with white folk. This is insane. This would make a great Blackish episode. You don't see these conversations with white folk. Okay. What's up? Where'd you find it at? Yeah, I can smell it. Oh. Where'd you find it? Okay, well, you put it somewhere, so I don't know what to tell you. You want it? How bad do you want it? Okay, no, I was playing. No, here, take it. All right. Okay, so they were going back and forth. They squashed it. See here we. Okay. Let me say I wanna beg Curtis Schoon. I want to beg my Curtis Schoon pardon because I joked about his valuable work that I have supported and appeared in. I was just breaking balls, even in disagreement. I love you, real rap, no cap. I did call my brother and say the same. Nah, he flamed your ass up. I was on the Twitter. He flamed him up. He flamed him up. Is this it? Okay. Oh yeah. Curtis flamed him up. I would have deleted the thread if I was Mike. It's a long ass thread, y'all. But he flamed him up. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get to it. Okay. Okay, let's go here. Is this it? Okay. This is the first shot. Killer Mike started this, right? He says, this is what he said about Schoon. He said, I support squeaky voiced niggas who box, play to the conservative, and have poorly produced docs too. That's why I trust me. Now, he said he made fun of his voice. Curtis Schoon is an avid boxer. Is he conservative? Most black people are conservatives, but I don't think he doesn't play that angle. Right, and he makes documentaries as well, and he also works in mental health, right? So he says you ain't gotta be like Mike for Mike to see your point of view. It ain't just Thug and Byron I have publicly supported. Name yourself too, player. So Killer Mike has openly supported Young Thug. You see how what Young Thug got himself into or got himself out of, and Byron Allen, or Byron, the guy from Florida, him. Okay. So Schoon says this fraud and hypocrite want to smoke, so be it. Curtis, I ain't pushed nothing but things that may help by any means, and that includes your work. I don't have to agree, but the emphasis y'all put on a marketing night is silly, and in my opinion, your work matters more. Also, I never chased clout through you. I accepted an invite, and we had great dialogue. If you want to do that again, come talk on conservative and tell us how and why you disagree. Whoa, wait, you coming for me? I know you ain't doing that. Ain't nobody trying to be like you, Mike. You out here clout chasing the hood, pushing all manner of degeneracy and grifter pandering to a non-existent base. You need a white boy to take you on tour as his sidekick because as a rapper, you suck ass. That's Run the Jewels. They won a Grammy for that too. Call yourself killer and you ain't killing nothing but or letting nothing die. You poser ass nigga. The only thing poorly produced is your rap career. Whoo! Whee! Wee. Now the people jumping on Curtis because they said, his voice. I mean his works. Yeah, Killer Mike got Grammys. Let's continue. Thank you for the opportunity, inspiration on the boxing. Anytime, Mike. It continues. My energy is cool as the ice cream spoon and will remain that way. Again, you are welcome to come and conversate and tell us why you hate us, ATL, Thug, or anyone. I want to hear and welcome to talk. Nah, nigga, keep that energy you had in your first tweet because I'm keeping this energy. I gave you a pass the last time your clown ass came in my mention defending Thugger. All that D-riding you be doing, you don't come out the house with a saddle in your hand. I'm going to start carrying you bozos like the clown you are on sight. Let's continue. Okay. Why? D gonna be D, and I would welcome him on Conversate to voice his opinion. Talk to your boy D1 who just made a post about it. Let's go here. Well, I support you, Shelley Winter, and Thomas Sowell, and Walter Williams. I know and converse with Vernon, for GA, all conservatives, and for that liberals call me coon, I say I sold out. So if you think I am too liberal, I guess I am balanced enough. And again, I want you to win in the end and blacks to prosper, but I think many roads will lead here. Now let's go here. Crip Cola. Now remember my critiques on Killer Mike's 30 Days of Trying to Be Black. Remember, for those my day ones, I did a breakdown many years ago. Killer Mike had a documentary documentary on Netflix. And he tried to do all things black in Atlanta for 30 days. Couldn't do it. Right? He had I forget how many episodes it was, whatever. So the one episode was try to do things only with black people for 30 days. Couldn't do it. No black. They didn't own any hotels. Where he got the guy he bought his weed from was a white guy. Couldn't smoke weed. Couldn't use his cell phone. The only cell phone that he could use was by a guy named Figures. And I said, okay, that's cool, but who owns the bandwidth? So your black phone is useless because it's the white man's bandwidth. T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, white men, right? And then he couldn't catch this was before, right before Uber. He was trying to catch a bus. No black bus owners, right? And so he ended up sleeping outside on the park bench because he tried to live and shop black for 30 days. Couldn't do it. And then in the next episode, he gave a bunch of black folk business ideas to make some money. He got 2 gang members, Crips and Bloods. They had the Crip Cola and the Blood Pop. So you got 2 gang-banging ass Crips. Matter of fact, Hocus Ho ass 4/5. We've had words. Matter of fact, and I had to temper myself because he was cool with Cindy at the time. And Cindy was like, come on, that's my guy. I fuck with Hocus. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there watching this episode. This is some gay ass shit. That Hocus 4/5 out here pushing. How you a gang banger and then you out here pushing pop? Okay, fine. So they had, they had a taste test. It was Crip Cola and Blood Pop or something like blood something with pop. And I remember doing that live stream. And I got a couple phone calls from Atlanta. And it was like, hey, come on, Sly, come on. And ever since then, I kind of been quiet. And why I haven't been going, in the paint on guys like Killer Mike and, Outkast like that to that degree. Because I know all their dirt. Behind the scenes. But I'm not that guy. Right? It was Blood Pop, wasn't it? Okay. So let's go here. He says, Crip Cola, Magic City Night, Byron Allen. How many black people he got employed? You're a renter, nigga, Mike. Your moral compass is broken because you don't know who you are. Find your place and get it in. Okay. Now remember, Byron Allen pretty much only hires white people. And he was complaining to black folk about that Comcast is being racist to me, right? Remember that deep dive I did? And I said, no, Comcast has a lot of black stations under their umbrella. So where's this racism that Byron Allen was referring to? Because they wouldn't give him a contract. But let's continue. Curtis knows that if I was in fact a killer on Twitter in public disagreement is not where I would seek to prove it. I also didn't name me. I earned it in a rap battle, and when asked by Sony to change it, it refused to, and it stifled my career until I proved it was marketable. I suffered to be me. Killer Mike means kill the mic, not that he is a killer. Okay, let's continue. No, I'm a black man. No, am only and God's man. My wife, children, and community is a man. If all y'all brothers stop saying my name today, I'm gonna be okay, and I'm gonna still want to see you win. Out though, we got one another's info, and I'm always willing to hear you out and conversate. You everybody man, cause you ain't nobody man. You only a fool's lane. Who is Prince? Forgive my ignorance as I don't keep up with everyone I meet and their significance to the street. I saw through you the last time. Let it slide. But once all you was going to get, you totally misread my patience. I saw you posting with Prince and NY. Somebody should have told you it was me who intervened on his behalf when he got to Leavenworth. That's a federal prison in Kansas. That's where they send disgraced soldiers to Leavenworth. Hard time. And I never even stepped foot in the federal prison. You have no idea who you're fucking with. Real recognize real, so that explains it all. I don't know. I just know going from being on Real People to creating your own TV shows to buying the Weather Channel is an amazing task, and he deserves congratulations in my opinion. Okay. Someone explained the significance of a sign of Byron Allen in this discussion. Let's continue. Kurt, your cosign could have felt like he was attacking based on your hate of Thug and Mr. Allen in Magic City. I shot the shit and talked shit back and still co-signed the fact I see your point of view. You missed the point, cool, but I still fucks with your work. Keep on doing it because it matters in my opinion. I really would like to have you on the show. My. How the temperature has lowered. You should have called before going online being a keyboard killer. I never attacked anyone who showed me love in that doc, but you must have hit a fentanyl-laced blunt today. Child. I don't know enough about that squad or their history to know who I am taking a photo with. From ATL, I know I refused. Down by Law, Me, Fio, Wesley Merritt, Charlie Cato, Fat Steve D, Tight, Slick Money, and Ice, but not many Northerners. Someone says, from the Supreme Team, that's who Curtis Schoon referring to. Okay. And then this is where we go. Let me say I beg my pardon because I joked about and he changed his tune. Okay, let's continue. I appreciate your grace and I'm very serious about have you come on, teach, preach, and reach some brothers on Conversate. Shit talk aside, we both know your work for our people. I also want to talk boxing and more love and respect. And he says we good. Okay. And then somebody else jumps in. Okay. All over because you have certain blacks that want to defend the right to promote a strip club on the corporate event's dime, on a corporate entity's dime. The NBA was never going to let this happen. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But y'all act like the Hawks is by themselves. Like, no, you're part of a bigger conglomerate. The game is bigger than you. Sorry, Atlanta. The game is bigger than you. Sorry, not sorry. This is insane. Insane. The things that black people champion and prop up and celebrate defies description. Like mofos really wanted this thing to go through. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
The NBA has canceled the Hawks Magic City Night promotion. The promotion, which was set for next Monday's game against the Magic, planned to celebrate the famous Magic City Club and its influence on Atlanta culture. The Hawks planned a live performance by T.I., themed merchandise, and the club's signature lemon pepper wings. T.I. will still perform at halftime. Magic City's management said the night would be family-friendly with no nudity. But this afternoon, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver issued a statement reading, "When we became aware of the Atlanta Hawks scheduled promotion, we reached out to Hawks leadership to better understand their plans and rationale. While we appreciate the team's perspective and their desire to move forward, we have heard significant concerns from a broad array of league stakeholders, including fans, partners, and employees. I believe canceling this promotion is the right decision for the broader NBA community." The Hawks also issued this statement. "While we are very disappointed in the NBA's decision to cancel our Magic City Night promotion, we fully respect its decision. As a franchise, we remain committed to celebrating the best of Atlanta with authenticity in ways that continue to unite and bring us all together," end quote. The team says any pre-ordered Magic City hoodies will still be delivered to customers.
Them shit's gonna go up in price. That for sure. Those hoodies gonna go up in price. Will be collector's items. Let's see what Jason Whitlock has to say. I'm curious to see what he has to say.
There's big news in the National Basketball Association. So before we get to Travis Steele, the head coach at Miami, the undefeated Red Hawks that are 31-0, before we get to Travis's brother, John Gross, the leader of the Akron basketball team, that's 17. I have both of those guys. I want to talk about them. I wanted to break the news. Scap, I don't know if you heard, but yesterday, Adam Silver released a statement canceling Magic City Night in Atlanta. I know you had plane tickets and hotel arrangements already, but Adam Silver has screwed you over here. When we became aware of the Atlanta Hawks scheduled promotion, we reached out to the Hawks leadership to better understand their plans and rationale. While we appreciate the team's perspective and their desire to move forward, we have heard significant concerns from a broad array of league stakeholders, significant concerns from a broad base of league stakeholders, including fans, partners, employees. I believe canceling this promotion is the right decision for the broader NBA community. That's Adam Silver, and I just want to I didn't think Adam Silver had it in him, but I'm certainly going to celebrate him when he does the right thing, Jay. I think he's done the right thing here.
Well, yeah, after a couple weeks of deliberation, obviously, like I like how in the statement you just read, it was, we reached out to better understand. Okay, you've been talking about this for like 3 weeks. They've known this was coming. I think it's just been like a rolling temperature check. And finally, there's been enough pushback, and finally Half Measure Silvers decided to do something, at least meet some of the people that are opposed to this halfway, because they are not completely canceling it. They're dropping some of the elements of it, but they're still doing some of the stuff. T.I. is still going to be performing, and they will still be selling the wings that everybody likes so much. Some kind of lemon pepper.
Yeah, but what you're not going to see is any Magic City promotion during the telecast. Do you understand? You're not going to see that promoted during the telecast. Come on down to Magic City to get your wing. No. And I've been to Magic City. The wings are okay. Stop this dumb shit. Okay? Babe, I want some wings. Run down to Magic City and give me a 12-pack of wings. I never said that ever. And I've lived in Atlanta, how many? 4 years? Never did I want to get up at 2 a.m. after being with a woman and say, babe, let's go get some wings from Magic City. Never. I hated going to Magic City because I knew that's where they wanted these stupid business meetings at 3 a.m. Wow, I want to be going there smelling like weed and Black and Milds and blunts. You go in there and you come out smelling like weed smoke and dank and must and funk and chicken grease. But, okay, never mind. That was my experience. I don't know about y'all's.
Wings of some sort that I read in the press release. They will still be selling those. But, yeah, some of the merch and some of the other things that were planned will not be going forward at this time. And, Jason, I think I texted you the story from ESPN.com, which you had already heard of. But I don't know if you read the article I texted you. They dropped the name of a player in there, Luke Cornett. They named names, an active player for the Spurs that had reached out to the NBA and was urging them to reconsider moving forward with this planned promotional event. So, Jason, I'll leave it up to your imagination to decipher. Luke Cornett, actually, I'll just break it to you. He's a white. Leave it up to the whites to ruin the Magic City stripper night, Jason.
ESPN mentioned Luke Cornett, not Adam Silver,
yes.
Yeah, ESPN, yeah, that Luke Cornett. Yeah, but he's been the only guy publicly, which is sad. That one guy in the NBA, backed up by one other player, who am I? Longtime Boston Celtics big man. Now I think he's finishing up someplace else. He kind of seconded Luke Cornett, but Luke Cornett's the only guy that's stuck his neck out there and spoke up.
Is Al Horford? Is that the name?
Al Horford. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes, Al Horford backed him up. But other than that, and what is there, 450 players in the NBA? LeBron James says nothing. Steph Curry says nothing. It's really embarrassing that it took some nondescript journeyman white boy that really doesn't matter to be the voice in the black league. That's why I give Adam Silver credit, because I don't think this was popular with the players and with the culture. But, here we are. I did not expect Adam Silver to do this. But I do think that once people connected the dots, that Jamie Kurtz, the wife of Tony Ressler, the owner of the Atlanta Hawks, once people figured out, well, she did a documentary series on Magic City, and now they're doing a celebration, I think that's what left Adam Silver no choice, is people figured out, hey, this wasn't the black community in Atlanta saying, hey, let's celebrate Magic City.
Did you guys watch the documentary? It's on Hulu. It's pretty good. I mean, it's interesting. I like how they showcased all the strippers from different decades of Magic City, those that started off in the very beginning, the middle, and towards the end, right? I thought it was entertaining. I mean, it's, a couple people I recognize in there, and then you had all the ATL legends, Jermaine Dupri and whoever else was coming in and giving their viewpoints on Magic City. It was a good documentary. But this is a corporate entity that's bigger than, this is a worldwide corporate entity. Did you really think they're going to let this? No. And then the fact that you have people really upset, black people, they're like, nah, man, y'all can't. That's wrong. What the fuck? What? Okay. Once again, when you hear the word Atlanta, the first three things that come to your mind, I'm sure strippers are one of them. Okay? All right. Okay. Let's keep it going. Let's go here. the not king of the South, Scarface, talks about his health issues. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Man, my after so I had heart surgery, open heart, right? So I wake up and I'm thinking it's like the same day, like it's a different day, a different evening.
Yeah,
I got a tube in my mouth. I can't breathe, but I'm trying to breathe. Right. So they put me back out and put me back on that ventilator. Okay. So on the ventilator, I'm like, wow. It ain't nothing in here.
Yeah.
Like it ain't no bright lights or no with their hands out or none of that. It's just dark in that, bro.
Yeah.
And I finally wake up and they take the shit out of my mouth, man, and I'm a whole lot more relieved and happy that I'm living. And I look at my mama and I say, I'm tough, mama.
Yeah.
I'm tough. You know, and she's like, I know you're tough, baby. The funniest is like a little while later, my mama tell me that my great grandfather died on the operating table having open heart surgery.
Yeah. I remember you telling me that.
Like, why in the didn't you tell me this before?
Yeah.
Because if I'd have known that before, I wouldn't have did this.
Yeah.
Face, you had no choice but to get it done. You were in bad shape. You were in bad shape. A nurse that I know that worked at the hospital that he had the surgery in, told me the details. It's pretty bad. He's not out of the woods. His health issues go far beyond what the heart surgery could. They can only fix so much of him. He's still in bad shape. But, that's not my place to say, but let's continue.
Yeah. She always said it was a win-win. If he live, he win. If he die, he win.
Right there.
That's it.
What? That was not a bar. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Yes. If it sounds semi-deep. Oh, let's go here. Oh, wait. No, let's do this. Okay, y'all, listen. Fellas. Okay, hear me out. Nah, I really can't, but this woman is, I'll just let her tell you herself. Let's go.
This is what 50 look like.
Yeah. This woman is 50 years old.
This is what it looked like. This is what it looked like. I'm blessed.
You look stunning. Start.
Okay. No. This is I can't, it's not going to work for me, brother. What did Hulk Hogan say? It's not going to work for me, brother. This woman is 50. That's commendable. But, got the huge stomach tattoo. That's a turn off. The fact that you're 50 wearing this type of outfit, the seashells or conch shells. And then I know you don't go to the gym because I can see how your arms are flabby and your thighs are flabby. So you don't go to the gym. So clearly whatever work you've done is come through the end of a scapula, right? Or cannula. That's what they use to suck all the fat out. A cannula. Sorry. So this is a cannula work. This ain't hard work, dedication, gym, calories in, calories out, protein, none of that shit. Microcarbs, none of that. This is... You notice she ain't turning around either. Ugh, this is bad. This is bad, son. No, this is not good. This is not good, Grandma. Grandma.
This is what 50 look like.
I'll just say this. There are no more grandmas. They're just old Keishas. There are no more grandmas, just old Keishas. Okay?
Yeah. This is what it looked like. This is what it looked like.
Look at her thighs, y'all. She don't work out. Ain't seen a squat. Never did a deadlift. No lunges. No hamstring curls. None of that shit. No hip thrust. None of it. This is all just jiggle, goobity giggle. I'm good. No, thank you. I'm good. Static, you nasty. Where you at? Static, he said.
Stunning.
I must be. Sir, God bless you. Ugh. Ugh. She don't work. No, listen, get your ass in the gym, y'all. Look at this. There are no more grandmas, just old Keishas competing with her granddaughter and daughter. Yeah. Yeah. Ain't no lies told. Nasty work, y'all. Okay, let's continue. And she got no ounce of muscle in her, on her. Let's go here. Okay, let's go to PDFs and STDs. Yes? Where are we at? Okay, let's go here. PDFs and STDs. Yes? Let's go.
Men fucking monkeys was not the origin of most STDs and like herpes and shit like that. And while I was wrong for saying that, and it felt really fun whenever I said it, that's actually not true. But what is true, and let me fucking click on the tab. What is true though is that, and you're gonna love this, most of the girls between the ages of 5 and 9 did not claim they had been assaulted, but by the time record-keeping systems were in place in the late 1920s, girls under age 13 accounted for 10% of reported infections among females.
That's STI infections. STI. Pay attention. This young liberal feminist type, I assume she's a liberal feminist woman, is about to give y'all some lessons. Let's continue.
So, doctors were vexed as to how so many girls had become infected, particularly those from white, middle, and upper class families, which white professionals considered respectable. Right. Many white professionals believed that only foreign or ignorant men abused their daughters, and so assumed that incest occurred only in poor, working class, immigrant, or African American families.
Which they do, but let's continue.
The evidence increasingly pointed to men from their own class. Doctors, public health officials, social reformers, and educators speculated that girls could become infected from non-sexual contacts with toilet seats, towels, or bedding. Modes of transmission doctors had already rejected for adults and boys. That's important. Doctors based their speculation on the fact that the epithelial lining of a girl's genitals is so thin that it provides little protection against bacteria. They knew it was unlikely that soiled objects could spread gonorrhea because the bacteria dry quickly when exposed to air. Yet, without proof that even one girl had become infected after using the school toilet from 1900 to the 1940s, healthcare professionals ignored the possibility of sexual assault and insisted instead that girls faced the greatest risk of exposure in the school lavatory. And what's really important about this is thinking about the way that systematic racism fucking affects everyone. It affects everyone. And it wasn't until 1998 that the American Academy of Pediatrics instructed physicians to assume that a child infected with an STD had been assaulted.
Wow.
So that might seem a little bit off topic from the original thing, but I was researching that. I'm just looking at the origin of STDs, how they most of the time got spread, and then boom, I land on systematic racism in the medical system and pedophilia in white upper middle class families. So yeah, drop the monkey bit, but...
Thank you, liberal feminist white woman. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Let's go here. The Alexander brothers. Are you aware? Have you heard of these guys? Whew. I mean, it's just white men doing white man stuff, but... Okay, the Alexander brothers. Oh my goodness. Let's go. The Alexander brothers. Come on.
A federal jury has found 3 brothers, including 2 who were prominent real estate brokers in the U.S., guilty on all counts in their sex trafficking trial. Now, the jury reached a verdict last night in the case against the Alexander brothers. The trial lasted 4 weeks and included testimony from women who say the brothers sexually assaulted them. Now, the brothers were accused of teaming up to drug, assault, and traffic women for more than a decade. CBS News national investigative correspondent Tom Hansen joins us. Appreciate you being on set.
Good to be here.
So just kind of, background of who these brothers are, what were the charges they were convicted of?
Yeah, well, chances are you might have seen them on social media at one point because they had a huge social media presence. So these are 3 brothers. You have Oren, Tal, and Alon Alexander. Oren and Tal were some of the most successful, highest earning real estate brokers in the entire country. And Tal worked for the family-owned security firm. Alon worked for the family-owned security firm. they were rubbing elbows with the ultra wealthy, the elite, the upper crust of society here. And what went down is 11 witnesses delivered what the prosecution says was crushing examples of guilt. These 11 women accused the brothers of sexually assaulting them, sometimes drugging them, then assaulting them, and even recording them without their consent. So some really disturbing allegations here. Now, the jury was presented a mountain of evidence in this case, much of it a digital footprint. We're talking emails, text messages, and even a blog, which prosecutors pointed to as a playbook. The blog.
Okay, so this one, he was in the suicide cell. So when they come out like this, he was in a paper suit in a padded room with no laces, no nothing, because he is a threat to himself. Okay, that's why he's dressed the way he is. Let's continue.
As a playbook. The blog even had a section that was titled, "It's Not Rape If." Now, the defense tried to dismiss some of this testimony. They said that a lot of these women were lovers scorned, that they were using this for personal gain. But the prosecution, simply put, these women have no reason to lie. I should also note that none of the brothers testified in this case. So here are the convictions that actually went down yesterday in a Manhattan court. The jury found Tal, Oren, and Alon guilty of sex trafficking charges, Tal and Alon guilty of sex trafficking a minor, and Oren and Alon guilty of sexual abuse. Their sentencing has been scheduled for August. The brothers could face life behind bars, so some serious charges here.
So, thankfully for these women, these men have been brought to justice, but how did it go on for so long?
Yeah, well, you know, that's a really good question. This was something that was rumored to be whispered about in social circles amongst the elite of the elite, correct? And so this was kind of the worst kept secret that these brothers were conducting themselves in this way, but they weren't really doing much to hide it either by posting on the blog posts, having this digital footprint, these text messages back and forth, basically touting their escapades, touting their, what we now know as crimes, convicted crimes in this case. And, you know, this is really just the opening salvo, or the first chapter, if you will, in a slew of court cases that they are facing. So they are also facing, in the state of Florida, criminal charges. Oren faces 3 separate counts of sexual battery in Florida. His twin Alon faces 1 count there as well. They also have civil suits and defamation suits that they are facing. So really just the first chapter in a laundry list of court cases that they're facing.
Yeah, truly horrible story.
Okay, nasty work. Let's go.
They were once top realtors living the high life. Now these 3 brothers have been convicted of sex trafficking. Their crimes brought to light thanks in part to this trio of reporters. Ann Mercogliano explains.
They're the 3 intrepid reporters who are credited with bringing down 3 Playboy real estate brothers who may now spend the rest of their lives behind bars. The Alexander brothers were among the top realtors in the nation, working upscale markets like Manhattan.
I ain't go front. That's a hard pick, though. That's a hard ass picture. I can't front. This is a very strong picture that projects power. I just like the picture. I like what's being projected. This is a good picture here. This is a very good picture. Okay, that's a very good picture. Fellas, take pictures like this with your bros, okay? Project strength and power, confidence. Yes? Okay, let's continue.
Like Manhattan, Miami, Aspen, and the Hamptons. Now the millionaire brothers have just been found guilty of sex crimes. Prosecutors say they raped as many as 60 women. Many of them are in the real estate business who were drugged and videotaped without their consent or knowledge. Sheridan Wall, Catherine Kalergis, and Ellen Cranley were the first reporters to expose the Alexander brothers. They all work for The Real Deal, a trade publication for realtors, not the usual place for hard-hitting investigative journalism.
Is this the type of story you usually cover? No, not really at all. And I don't think I've ever run across anything like this before.
Oren Alexander. The Alexander brothers were well known to the reporters.
They were names that
Okay, wait. That is an AP. Audemars Piguet on his wrist. I recognize that bevel, that dial, and that bracelet, and the markings. You can spot one a mile away. That's an AP. Okay, come on.
They were names that were regularly in our articles about deals. They were pretty prominent figures in the industry.
They say the Alexander brothers pressured them before their story was
That's
published.
a tough pick, man.
They followed through on the promise of legal action with a $500 million defamation suit.
Are you proud of yourselves?
I'm proud of the work we've done, absolutely.
Attorney Lillian Timmerman represents several victims of the Alexander brothers. She says the article gave them the courage to come forward and testify.
That's what the article did, was just empower all of these women to look to their side and say, okay, I'm going to stand next to this woman and do it.
The sentencing for the brothers is scheduled for August. They all face life behind bars. Their lawyer says they will appeal.
Woo. Woo. From the big house to the big house. From the manor to the big house, to the villa to the big house. Nasty work. 60 victims. 60 victims. Okay. Okay. Let's do an update on Live Nation. I've talked about Live Nation, the very same Live Nation that Corey Holcomb is still signed to. Live Nation has agreed to pay a very hefty fine to the DOJ. Okay? Now, this is a big deal because they pretty much own Ticketmaster, and Ticketmaster pretty much owns all the venues. It was a complete monopoly. Complete. Right? Let's go here. Let's go here. Skip it up. Oh, that's right. Corey is on, huh? The number's been dropping for Corey as of late. Yeah, he ain't. And the numbers been dropping the last couple of weeks. But, okay. Let's go. Okay, let's go.
A week after a trial began over Ticketmaster's parent company alleged monopoly of the event ticket business, the Justice Department and Live Nation have reached a tentative settlement. Live Nation says it has agreed to pay $280 million in civil penalties to at least 10 of the 40 states that sued the entertainment company in 2024 for its alleged monopoly.
I don't think y'all understand. 40 states sued Live Nation. California being one of them. Okay? It gets worse because this whole time during this case, Live Nation was already negotiating to pay the fine. They're too big. They're too big. Let's continue.
Over live concert tickets, bookings, venues, and promotions. Ticketmaster must now allow rival companies to sell tickets on its platform. The deal also requires Live Nation to sell at least 13 of its amphitheaters, and there's a 15% cap for ticket service fees. Not all states agree with the settlement, and they plan to move forward with the lawsuit. Yeah. In a statement, Live Nation said in part, quote, by giving artists greater flexibility in choosing their promotional partners and ticketing strategy, while also keeping the cost of a concert more affordable for fans, we are putting more power where it should be with artists and fans. Kenneth Dinsner joins us now. He's an antitrust attorney at law firm Kroll and Mooring. So, Kenneth, help us understand this settlement and why Live Nation and the government agreed to it.
So the settlement provides that there will be some things that Live Nation and Ticketmaster can't do that they've been doing for the past few years. They've been historically leaning into the relationship between the two of them to encourage, or some say threaten, venues to take Ticketmaster and their ticketing services.
The judge in this case in the Manhattan federal court called the settlement process entirely unacceptable. He added no one had informed him of the deal until late Sunday. Can you help us explain why he would characterize it that way?
Yeah, that was a very angry judge. The first thing that they teach you when you're going to go off to litigate in court is do not surprise the judge. And DOJ and Live Nation, they did exactly that.
Yeah, they were already negotiating the settlement without including the judge. They don't give a fuck. They're too big. Do you understand? This is the same Live Nation that your boy Corey Holcomb is signed to in partnership with. But he's being canceled and he's losing gigs. Yeah? Okay, gotcha.
They signed this agreement on Thursday, and they didn't tell the judge until Sunday night. In fact, they had a whole day of court on Friday that basically was unnecessary because they had already reached a settlement.
Yep.
Wow. So it wasn't necessarily about the crux and substance of the settlement, but rather just the timing and the fact that the judge was out of the loop.
That was the thing that really ticked the judge off today, is that you're really supposed to keep the judge in the loop if there's settlement discussions, if you think the case is going to go away, certainly if you've already settled or reached a settlement agreement. So that was what made him so angry today. He ultimately will be in a position where he gets to decide under certain statutes whether this is an acceptable settlement. So this is not a place to start from.
All right, so not a done deal, and not every state involved has settled. So what happens next from there? And do you think that you and I, your daughter, are going to see any difference in the ticket buying experience?
So, what happens next is a very interesting question. The states who haven't settled have said, look, we can't just start again without the Department of Justice. The jury's going to be sitting there going, what happened? So they've asked for a mistrial. They've asked for a do-over where everything would start over again at some later date. The judge may say no and may make the remaining states just go forward based on the people who are left. So that'll be a very interesting question. What we will see, hopefully, is a more responsive Ticketmaster. And so when my daughter next time is trying to buy Taylor Swift tickets, maybe their system won't crash. The hope is that by breaking the separation between Live Nation and Ticketmaster, at least to some extent, that Ticketmaster will have to compete. So, for example, when you're buying tickets, even if you do it at a Ticketmaster location, you may be buying SeatGeek tickets.
Okay, let me end it there. Now let's go to academics. Now listen to how they did academics. Hold up. Listen to how they did academics. Because academics is having a birthday celebration, right? And listen to what they made him do. Under Live Nation. Where is it at? Come on. Oh, don't do this to me. Oh, damn it. Okay. No, that's not it. Hold up. Did I not send it? I know I sent it to myself. I know I'm not crazy. Wait, hold on, y'all. Hold up. Oh, here we go. Okay. Now pay attention to how they did him. Let's go.
Essentially, remember, so this Live Nation Ticketmaster monopoly trial, there's some witnesses who took the stand on Wednesday, and one of them was a chief revenue officer for the Minnesota Wild hockey team. They said that they considered switching their venue's ticketing platform from Ticketmaster. Now, remember what I just told y'all. I just greenlit my birthday show. If you guys are in New York, tickets are going on sale. I hit my assistant about it today. I want to do a pre-sale for my subs. So if you guys are subs, you guys will have like a couple days. You could go fucking buy the tickets, and then we'll put them on general sale. But before, I was talking to them. Obviously, last year went good. They said, do you want to do next year as well? I said, yeah, I do want to do the venue next year again. So we locked in the contract early on. Around this time, because
pay attention.
In the Miami venue I'm selling tickets myself, right? Like, so I'm using Eventbrite. So I said, you know what? Can I use my own ticketing platform? Because I like seeing the back end, and, it'll help me figure out where my audience actually really is. They're like, no. I said, why not? They said, we're Live Nation venue, and when we're a Live Nation venue, we only use Ticketmaster. But I'm like, what if we don't want to use Ticketmaster? Now, here's the thing. They force me and everybody else to use Ticketmaster. Why? Ticketmaster charges these fees and whatever. Basically, all the money from the whole process, like they're worse than record labels. The whole process of doing a show, all the money goes to the fucking, to Live Nation. Mm-hmm. They own the parking, concessions. They own ticketing, right? So they get fees when you buy tickets. So like even, I remember for like, I think we might have did it this time around. So when we were coming up with pricing, I'm like, I'm not trying to charge my audience an arm and a leg. Like, bro, I'm not like fucking Drake. Like, bro, get them $35 if they want a general admission ticket. Of course, some people could go up higher, but I'm like, no, it's $35, right? Like, I think they said that's like the cheapest I could charge. Like, they were telling me how much I could fucking charge, right? And I'm like, I'm paying myself, or I'm actually not taking any money. I'm just reinvesting it. Why? If I want to sell the tickets for $10, why can't I sell it? If I pay for the venue. They're like, oh, no, it's like, Live Nation. Like, basically, they're saying I can't charge too low because it will fuck up their business of having other shows when they see a show at that venue for $10.
Yeah, because the other people are going to be like, well, you let them get it for this price. We want it for that price. And they can't afford to have that happen, basically, in a nutshell.
$10. So I said, so I can't just charge little to nothing. They're like, no, that's the lowest you could go. So I said, fine, I'll do $35, whatever. Cool. I say I'll do that amount. You know what the next thing they fucking tell me? They're like, yo, well, so it's not really going to be $35. I said, what do you mean? Well, we got like a $7 fee. That's the Ticketmaster fee. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, bro, the people who watch me, it's not like they're not rich, but they're not trying to fucking pay mad money. So what I told them is like, I think last year we did it. I said, we'll absorb the fee. So every ticket minus $7. Like I just took the fee on it. But that's how greedy they fucking are, bro. Like, honestly, again, I'm working with them. I'm going to, you can't go around them. I told you what they did a little baby do to Drake. You can't go around them, but are they a monopoly? Like, fuck yes, my nigga. What the fuck? So anyway, Chief Revenue Officer, this is for
Okay. That's how Live Nation gets down. Okay? That's how they get down. All right. Okay, I've been on for, okay, cool, hour and a half. Let's go ahead and get to it. Let me see what it says. NBA. Okay. Spiritual assassin. Yes. Spiritual assassin. This should be a good one. Okay. I asked the question in the poll. Was the NBA correct to remove itself from the Magic City stripper culture? 82% of you guys said yes. Okay. Now let's get to Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway, this whole thing with the Ivana Ortiz versus Rihanna, and I stand firm, and I believe that Ivana believes that she is a soldier of God sent to strike down a very high-ranking, powerful witch, in that of Rihanna. Okay. And I'm like, why would you deem her crazy? Why do you call her crazy? Because God chooses the people that had, a lot of issues. Okay. So Rihanna left town. She leaves town.
She's out of there. Pop star Rihanna is understandably freaked out. A woman was charged with attempted murder after cops say she shot at Rihanna's Beverly Hills mansion with an assault rifle. Now, Rihanna has reportedly fled Los Angeles over safety concerns. Here's Jim Murray.
Rihanna is fleeing L.A. after the terrifying shooting at her Beverly Hills mansion.
Shooting occurred, approximately 10 shots heard.
That's Rihanna's staff loading up half a dozen suitcases of the singer's belongings. Her convoy headed into the Van Nuys airport, where Rihanna was spotted on a private jet taking off. Destination unknown. The singer
Okay,
is
more than likely she's going back to Barbados or maybe the UK. Let's continue.
freaking out, a source close to her tells People magazine. She doesn't understand why anyone would target her family. Police booked Ivana Ortiz for attempted murder after they say she drove up in her white Tesla to Rihanna's house on Sunday afternoon and opened fire with an assault rifle. The bullets pierced Rihanna's gate, an RV parked in her driveway. Rihanna, A$AP Rocky, and their children were reportedly all home, as well as others.
There were a total of 10 people present when that shooting occurred. Yeah, as far as motive, we haven't established that yet.
In January, Ortiz made a deranged social media post rambling about the devil and Rihanna.
You saw Rihanna? I keep telling her to stop harassing me. Court
documents show 35-year-old Ivana Ortiz lost custody of her daughter in 2024 and was held temporarily under Florida's Baker Act, an involuntary mental health hold. The shooting here at Rihanna's mansion is a wake-up call for all celebrities who could potentially be targeted by obsessed fans who could easily find out where they live. Security expert Kent Moyer.
Once people know where you live, what else is a celebrity to do? Are they supposed to move?
No. You can build layers of protection at the house and make sure that you have fence sensors and cameras with AI, cameras that maybe would identify whether the person has a weapon on them. The reality is you got to plan for all types of threats.
Okay. You know they have celebrity tours in LA. Like they give you maps to where these people's homes are. Like everyone knows where you can find a celeb home in LA, the hills, wherever. It doesn't matter. I mean, they're they have tours for that. Okay, specifically. But okay, this was inspired. So let's go over the sad, kind of out there case of Donny Hathaway. Right. This is a very, very detailed. Okay, lots of stuff to cover. Oh, boys, shit. We're gonna do the best way we can go over this. Okay. Spiritual assassin, Donny Hathaway. Okay. In a comment to a recent blog observation that Donny Hathaway was murdered like Whitney Houston, I was asked, why would they kill Donny? Okay. Donny's story ended tragically with what some determined to be a self-offering. Okay, let me see. We're gonna get to it. Okay. Okay, Donny Hathaway, born 1945, Chicago, grandson of gospel singer Martha Cromwell, was billed as America's youngest gospel singer. Began singing at 3 years old. Okay. He could hear things that he couldn't play at first, but by the age of 4, he was able to sit down at a piano and play the things he could hear in his head. He would tell his grandmother, "I hear the most beautiful music in my head, Grandma." So she purchased a piano. She was a musician too, and he began to play. Donny was very, very special. He was paranormal. Donny was a brilliant musician, arranger, songwriter, and vocalist. Okay. At the height of his musical career, he spoke about transcending, creating, and conducting a concerto with the Boston Pop Symphony. He was exploring melodies, soft and elegant voices. He talked about exploring classical music and melodic patterns and motions, repetitive patterns that could be used with any scale. The use of practiced melodic patterns goes back to the dawn of civilization, the lands of Sumer and Kemet. Some of the ancient Kemetic melodic patterns have survived. One example of it can be found as the Egyptian melody in Louis Armstrong's 1928 Tight Like This. Okay. He was able to recapture some of the mysterious ancient melodic patterns surviving in Africa Black spiritual gospel music, and in silky smooth eloquence incorporate it in our everyday lives and struggles. They say that Donny literally sat in the studio and cried when he heard the playback of his final mix of the song, "Someday We'll All Be Free." Okay. It is also very moving, emotional, and spiritual for me. At times, I listen to the song and reflect on my grandchildren and children of the world and fall into a deep prayer for their future health, safety, and well-being. I often break down in tears. The song seems to cleanse, heal, inspire, and then rejuvenate me to get up and continue the struggle with renewed vigor and commitment. Okay. They say that Donny's 1972 4 movements of Everything is Everything and Voices Inside reflect on his latent paranoid schizophrenia. Okay. He's talking about let's go and get on down with the exploding melodic and other dimensional experiences through music and movements, not drugs. Okay. Now, according to his widow, Eula Hathaway, Donny had been confined on several occasions in psychiatric facilities in New York instead of Chicago. New York at the time was a hotbed of clandestine MK Ultra activity. They are always careful not to expose who treated Donny and the mental institutions and hospitals that he had been confined at. He was hospitalized on several occasions. I guess by 73 or 74, it was determined that he was a paranoid schizophrenic. By 1974, Donny dropped completely out of sight of the music industry and entertainment industry until January 1979, 5 years. The bottom line is that Donny had extraordinary and paranormal abilities. He could see, hear, explore, develop, and capture the universal sacred art of music science, practiced by healing temples of the most ancient, advanced, and mysterious civilizations. Most of what is called classical music was taken directly from secret Kemetic, Canaanite, Arabian, and African healing temples, and we just don't understand the universal power of music enough to try to keep it out of the power and control of influence of Luciferians. Egyptian temples were used in setting resonant frequencies for the purpose of healing the etheric body. We all know they changed the pitch from 440 hertz to 432 hertz. Your song pitch, right? We all know about this, right? This is music 101. Okay. Healing with sound, color, light, and music was integral to the ancient process of reharmonizing the body back to a state of total health. This process aided in resetting the person's own unique frequency signature, much like doing a computer restore point. Health was equated with being in tune with one's true soul path. The body was seen as an earthly vehicle which housed the soul and was treated like God's holy temple. Living a life in resonance and loving service to others was what the tenets of the Sakura priesthood were all about. Okay. Donny Hathaway was a genius of music theory, a master pianist and songwriter, and possibly had the most beautiful male voice in soul music ever. Okay. Let's go here. According to fellow musician James Mtume, you know the group Mtume, Juicy Fruit, and they did the theme song to what's the cop show with Malik Yoba, New York Undercover. Yeah, okay. James Mtume at the recording studio. Hathaway said that white people were trying to kill him and had connected his brain to a machine for the purpose of stealing his music and his sound. There's an episode in Black Mirror where the pop star was hooked up to a computer and they tried to, pull all the songs out of her brain, and then you get the computer running through, and they create this amalgamation of human AI music. I forget what episode of Black Mirror that was, but let's continue. Okay. Because of Hathaway's mental state, the recording session was aborted, and all of the musicians went home instead of asking Donny the what, who, when, and the why. It was important to ask these things because Donny had been out of music recording studios as a free man since 1974. In February of 1978, Atlantic Records had to get permission from a hospital to fly Hathaway out for recording sessions of The Closer I Get to You with Roberta Flack. So when he made this record with Roberta Flack, Atlantic Records had to get permission from the hospital to fly him out to record this song. Okay. Let's continue. At Mtume's studio recording session on January 13, 1979, Donny still wasn't free. Donny did not leave the recording studio alone and ended up at the hotel. According to Reggie Lucas, Donny was supposed to be under the 24-hour watchful supervision of David Franklin per Atlantic Records and that hospital. Lucas said that Donny was heavily drugged that evening. He last saw Donny Saturday evening leaving Roberta Flack's apartment with his official appointed chaperone and guardian, David McCoy Franklin, headed back to the Essex House Hotel. Okay, these are the founders of Atlantic Records, mainly Ahmet. Okay. Lucas said that Franklin and Roberta Flack showed up at the morgue on Monday to identify Donny's body. It appears that no questions were asked about where Franklin was Saturday evening between the time he and Donny left Flack's apartment and Donny's death. And it appears that Franklin didn't offer any answers why he left him alone if Donny was indeed left alone in that hotel room. Franklin's answers to these questions should be part of Donny's historical record. They are not. Donny's mental institution and the doctors that Franklin reported to should also be a part of Donny's historical records. They are not. David Franklin was a quiet as kept Washington, D.C., Atlanta black attorney that worked closely with Ahmet Erdogan at Atlantic Records with black artists. Franklin was known to work behind the veil on a lot of political things for Washington, D.C. He was the chief economic development consultant for the Cooperative Assistance Fund in Washington from 1970 to 75. CAF was established in 1968 by a group of foundations to make investments in minority and low-income communities through CAF. In other words, it was a multi-million-dollar charity slush money laundering operation ran by a bunch of insider Washington, D.C. political head Negro in charge coons and Uncle Toms. David was the husband of Shirley Franklin, the 58th mayor of Atlanta. There are no such thing as coincidence. Let's continue. Shirley Franklin and Roberta Flack are Delta Sigma Theta, Divine Nine Boule Negroes. Okay. Reverend Jesse Jackson, Prince Hall, Master Mason, Omega Divine Nine, planted a new false cover for Donny's death among the masses. Reverend Jackson delivered Donny's eulogy. He said it appeared to be neither homicide nor suicide. It seems to have been an accident. Donny died with his coat, scarf, and cap on, and it's not likely that anyone would go through the preparation of putting on full attire just to jump out of a window. It was an accident. Jesse Jackson. I wasn't aware of this. Maybe he had already had his coat on, his coat, scarf, and cap on when he was thrown out of the window. So he was tossed out of a window. That's how he died. When Donny brought up white people and psychotronic interference brain machines, they scattered like flies. Okay. And we know somebody had taken complete control over Donny's mind and thoughts at the time of his death. He talked too much and they threw Donny Hathaway out of the window. Holy cow, that is the hotel. And that's how far. Oh, no, that's terrible. Let's continue. Synthetic telepathy, also known as telepathy or psychotronics, is a term used to describe the process in brain-computer interfaces by which human thought is intercepted, processed by a computer, and a return signal generated that is perceptible by the human brain. Okay, the CIA director in 1979 was four-star Admiral Stansfield Turner, former president of the Naval War College and commander-in-chief of NATO's southern flank. Under Turner's direction, the CIA emphasized technical intelligence and signal intelligence more than human intelligence. Parapsychology, it's on public record that MK Ultra, the mind control research which Turner admitted to in 1977, spent millions of dollars studying the paranormal, voodoo, witchcraft, and psychics. I just said this last night. Let's continue. Turner disclosed that the CIA had been conducting mind control on countless numbers of unsuspecting victims for years without their knowledge or consent. So when people snap out and they say, I don't know what happened, I kept hearing voices in my head, they were targeted for whatever reason. But let's continue. Oh my God, this is such a long read. Holy cow, this is a long read. Wait, let me see how long this is. Okay. Let me see how long this is a long ass read. Oh boy. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Okay. On August 3rd, 1977, Turner went before Congress. He told Senate hearings about MK Ultra Monarch. He gave an account of a CIA-established network, including 80 medical universities, hospitals, and prisons. I told you about prisons like Seagate in the Luke Cage comic books. I said that shit's real. Prisoners do go missing. Okay, but let's continue. Together with 185 high-ranking U.S. scientists, researchers, and doctors, it was mentioned that the program had begun under the director of CIA, Allen Dulles. There's an airport named after this man. There's a Dulles Airport that's named after him. In 1953, it pretty much says it all. Okay. There is a link between what was going on with Frank Olson in the early 50s and Donny Hathaway in the 70s. U.S. civilians were unwittingly drugged with LSD during the 1950s under the U.S. Navy schizophrenia and MK Ultra from 1953 into the 1970s. Okay. Now, hours after the sudden aborted recording session on January 13th, 1979, Hathaway was found below the window of his 15th floor room of New York's 48 floors Essex House Hotel. Okay. While seemingly odd that the safety glass window to his room had been meticulously removed and was on the bed. His hotel door was double locked from the inside, and there were no signs of struggle. Investigators ruled Hathaway's death a suicide. Okay. It was a cold and winter Saturday night in New York City, 700 miles away in Chicago. The infamous Chicago blizzard of 1979 hit the city, leaving 19 inches of snow. And after a period of unrelenting, bitterly cold, Donny was found dead below his hotel window with his coat, scarf, and cap on. It appears that the window in his room was already on the bed when he entered, or was forced into it in frigid cold circumstances. Okay. Another scenario implies that Donny brought along a special toolkit designed to remove the hotel safety glass frame and windows. The assumed scenario couldn't even be repeated in the infamous October 1st, 2017 Las Vegas flag shooting. Remember that? Okay. Investigative law enforcement agencies still will not comment themselves on how the alleged mass murder. Oh, no, we don't care about all that. We don't care about all that. Okay. In Donny's case, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever that the Essex House Hotel would install code-compliant safety glass windows to prevent suicides that can be easily and neatly removed without any special knowledge and tools by guests. It is not reasonable or logical to believe that they did in Donny's case in that room. Furthermore, Donny was under the influence of psychotropic drugs. Okay. In 1972, at the very height of his career in a string of hits among the masses, Donny suddenly became depressed, paranoid schizoid. They say it was found that he was suffering from paranoid schizophrenia and was known to have taken up to 14 pills 2 to 3 times a day to control his disease. Donny's death in the way was consistent with the CIA assassination manual. His death was primarily meant not to permanently silence him, but also to send a terrifying message to others to keep their mouths shut about Donny, white people, and psychotronic mind machines. Okay. Look here. The hotel safety glass removable scenario also didn't even happen in the case of Frank Olson 26 years earlier in New York. Evidence suggests that the hotel's safety glass window was first broken, and then Olson was thrown through his Statler hotel room to his death. Okay, Frank Olson, American bacteriologist, biological warfare scientist, employee under Alan Dulles and Richard Helms, who worked at Camp Detrick, now Fort Detrick in Maryland. Olson was at first said to have taken his own life from the 13th floor. Okay. On January 13th, Donny Hathaway was on the 15th floor, but fell 13 stories like Olson to his death in New York. The CIA maintained that Olson had leapt through the closed window to his death as a result of a schizophrenic episode, just the same as Donny. Olson's room also had been locked from the inside, just like Donny's. However, an autopsy conducted 40 years later revealed an injury to Olson's skull was most likely caused by a blow to the head, and there was no evidence of any cuts to the body from broken glass. It seems that Olson, exactly as recommended in the CIA assassination manual, was 13 on the head, or was struck on the head, possibly while drugged, and thrown from the window to his death 13 floors below. Cheesy Pete's. On the night that Olson was found dead, the Statler Hilton had a special new bellboy on the job with access to the hotel room's passkey. It was Jean-Pierre Lafitte. Lafitte of the Corsican French Connection mob was descended from the notorious French Masonic late 18th century Lafitte brothers, Jean-Pierre and Alexander of New Orleans. They were slave boat runners and pirates. Jean Lafitte was a deep cover CIA, FBI, and FBI Federal Bureau of Narcotics contractor since 1952. He was an extremely deep cover CIA artichoke assassin linked to the high profile deaths of foreign and domestic heads of state, Patrice Lumumba and JFK. Oh, this is way too deep. Oh, let me stop. Okay, let me stop. I'm gonna stop. We can do part 2. I wasn't ready for all this. Lafitte just happened to be working as a bellman at the Statler Hotel the night Frank Olson crashed through the security glass window and dropped to his death. In 1953, Lafitte had been working undercover doing lowly work in several New York hotels, probably for the FBN, certainly for the notorious Colonel George White. He was on duty for more reasons than one at the Hotel Statler when Olson was thrown from the window. It is now believed that Lafitte was one of Olson's dark assassins. Lafitte also has an even more intriguing connection to the JFK assassination. On May 9, 1963, Lee Harvey Oswald applied for work at the William B. Riley Coffee Company in New Orleans. Riley was a rabid anti-communist who gave financial support both to Sergio Aracna Smith's crusade to free Cuban Committee and Ed Butler's partially CIA-funded propaganda outfit, the Information Council of the Americas. And the Riley Vice President William Monaghan was a former FBI agent and was a charter member of the Inca. New Orleans DA Jim Garrison also believed that Riley was part of a special clandestine U.S. intelligence apparatus, a view bolstered somewhat by Jerry Patrick Hemmings' claim that William Riley had worked for the CIA for years. Oswald worked for Riley May through July 1963, and H.P. Albarelli notes that around the time of the JFK assassination, Lafitte too was working for the Riley Company. Jean-Pierre Lafitte, a longtime professional police informant with underworld connections through the auspices of Colonel George Hunter White, was enlisted by CIA MK Ultra Monarch to assist Operation Midnight Climax with the sadist Dr. James Alexander Hamilton at CIA station agent Vacaville's California Men's Mental Health Facility. I know where this is. Okay. Operation Midnight Climax was an operation known only to Richard Helms and Gottlieb's Technical Support Division. It was a freewheeling illicit criminal operation headed by White, an Army captain, OSS officer, veteran agent of the FBN, who was also CIA operative. During the day, White worked as an FBM agent to keep psychoactive drugs out of circulation. When night fell, he and his minions dispensed these drugs widely to strangers in San Francisco and New York. Thousands of unwitting men were lured to CIA-sponsored drug and sex sessions by prostitutes at CIA safe houses. The prostitutes received $100 a night and were guaranteed protection from police harassment. The walls of CIA bordellos were decorated with photos of women in bondage and other suggestive sexual images. White had unrestricted use of surveillance technology, LSD, and other mind-altering substances were slipped into the John's liquor by the hookers, and their sexual encounters were monitored and recorded from behind two-way mirrors. These taped sexual encounters were useful for blackmailing Johns, some of who were prominent, upstanding citizens. This is the Epstein shit, y'all. This is before Epstein. Frank Olson, why? Allegations pointed to the CIA having assassinated Frank Olson over fears that he would reveal the entire illegal Nazi U.S. biological warfare and mind control programs, as well as the chemical interrogation programs, to the press. Olson knew quite a bit. Dr. Harold Batchelor was the Army scientist in charge of consultation with Nazi doctor and former Deputy Surgeon General of the Third Reich, Dr. Kurt Blum. Holy cow. Blum served as the Sturm Abteilung during the Nazi regime, eventually rising to the rank of Major General. During World War II, Blum was the biological warfare representative of the Reich Research Council. Good grief. Blum was extremely dangerous Nazi. He was an expert in bacteriological warfare and biological weapons. He had a long-standing interest in the military use of carcinogenic substances and cancer-causing viruses. 1942, Blum became director of a unit affiliated with the Central Cancer Institute at the University of Posen, which is now in Poland. Blum worked on methods for the storage and dispersal of biological agents like plague, cholera, anthrax, and typhoid. He is known to have infected concentration camp prisoners with plague in order to test vaccines. Blum was an expert in aerosol dispersants and the transmission of malaria to humans. At Auschwitz, he sprayed nerve agents like tabun and sarin from aircraft on prisoners. My God. In March of 1945, Blum fled from Posen just ahead of the Red Army. He was unable to destroy evidence of his experiments. On May 17, 1945, he was taken into custody in Munich by U.S. Army Counterintelligence Corps. Baron Otto von Bolschwing, personal detailed to work for the Alsos mission. The Alsos mission was an organized effort by a team of U.S. military, scientific, and intelligence personnel to discover enemy scientific developments during World War II. Its chief focus was on the Nazi SS nuclear energy project, but it also investigated both chemical and biological weapons and the means to deliver them. One of Blum's principal responsibilities during the Nazi regime had been to report on the political reliability of German scientists and technicians. Therefore, his knowledge was invaluable to Alsos in helping the United Kingdom and the United States to identify an SS weapons experts who might work for them. Okay, I'm definitely going to leave this here. This is way too This is way too. I wasn't prepared for all this. All right, I'm gonna stop here. We're gonna do a part 2 to this. We'll definitely do a part 2 to this. Like I said, most of you people are not ready for this spiritual warfare, or what you deem spiritual warfare. This Rihanna Ortiz chick is just tip of the iceberg. Okay. Hey, oh, you liked it? I told you. I ain't gonna steer you wrong, man. That's a dope movie, right? It's crazy, right? The whole thing with the dog was crazy. I'm glad you liked it. All right, I'm gonna pull this back. We will definitely do a part 2 to this tomorrow, maybe, but I'll save it for now, because I'm not maybe like 40% through this article. It's a long ass read, so I'm not gonna bore you guys to death with just me reading and munching up these words. So we'll do a part 2 to this, but once again, spiritual warfare is not what you think it looks like. It's something way deeper, and most people are not prepared to deal with it, and most people wouldn't even recognize it if they saw it in real time. So I'm gonna get out of here, and I've been able to say it under 2 hours. So my man Renzo, thank you so much. I appreciate that. The only thing come close to basketball and strippers is buns and basketball. Oh my god, not buns and basketball. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get out of here and chop up some videos. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's night. I bid you all adieu.